Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an unfair advantage over your competition. Are you ready? Let's go.
What's up, podcast family? Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode 382. I'm Phil Graham. Today, I'm going to share 5 advanced Facebook and Instagram ad targeting strategies that you should be trying right now. Happy September. I can't believe it's already September. That is crazy. I hope you guys are doing really well. In just a couple of weeks, I'm going to come out with an episode about preparing for holiday shopping, holiday sales. Even if you're a service business, you should be doing this. So make sure you guys pay attention and watch out for that because that's going to be powerful. But today, this is going to be a really important episode, because there are so many Facebook and Instagram audience targeting options available. And I know that for a lot of advertisers, it can either be overwhelming, you may not know where to start, or maybe you're advertising and you're not getting the most out of it and you want to get more out of your budget. Well, that's one of the reasons I am creating this episode today, because I want to give you guys some actionable steps and audiences that you can try and you can implement right away. And this should be good, whether you're an experienced advertiser, somebody brand new, or anybody in between. Before we dive in, if you guys want to connect with me, maybe you got some topics to suggest for this podcast, or maybe you're looking for some coaching and consulting so you can learn ads one-on-one, or if you want somebody to run your ads for you. For any of those things, just go to my website, philgrahamdigital.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital. And I would love to connect with you. So let's dive right in, my friends. The first thing I want to talk about is Advantage Plus audiences. Now, they are very large, broad audiences. They are powerful and they can do really well. And I love these audiences, especially when you're looking to reach just a wide, diverse audience. However, one thing I wanted to mention that's really important is, in my experience and even data that I've seen of ours and other people's, that data has shown that segmented audiences and other types of audiences can sometimes, and I would even say many times, deliver even better, more precise results, especially when you really know who you're targeting. When you have a specific type of customer or audience or behaviors or interests that you've identified, it can be really effective. But here's the good news, you guys. It's not about choosing one over the other. It's really about leveraging both types of audiences, Advantage Plus the ones I'm going to talk to you about today, to really create and give you a well-rounded strategy. That is really important. So today, we'll talk about these audiences and we'll talk about why segmentation to fine-tune your ads can make a big difference. So I've got 5 audiences that I recommend you guys try today. Let's jump in with number 1, and that is a lookalike audience, but from multiple sources. So for a lot of years, we would do a lookalike audience. It would come from one main source, maybe purchasers or website visitors. We would either do 1% or 5, and that's typically how we did it. These days, what I would love for you to test, because it can be really powerful, is testing multiple sources with your lookalike. So for example, you would create a lookalike out of something like website visitors, another lookalike out of Facebook and Instagram engagers, another one from your email list, and another one from people who have purchased from you. For example, there's 4 right there. Those are pretty powerful. So what I would do is I would create that and I would serve all of those 4 lookalikes into one ad set. Now, why can this be so powerful? It's because it leverages multiple data points. It gives Facebook more to work with. And so that can potentially increase the accuracy and the relevance of your audience and of your ads. And sometimes it gives you better ad performance. One word of warning, though, is I don't recommend using too many lookalikes. I wouldn't do 10 or 15 or something crazy like that. I would go anywhere from 3 to 5 at the most, but I would absolutely be testing lookalikes from multiple sources. The second audience I recommend is what I would call segmented niche audiences or stacking audiences. This is one of my favorites. It is probably my number one favorite, actually, because it can be so powerful and it can work amazing because your content can be 100% relevant to who you're targeting. If I had to look at any type of audience that beats Advantage Plus more consistently than any other, it would be this one, along with, of course, like retargeting. Does it always beat it? No, of course not. But I can show you tons of data where segmented audiences are beating Advantage Plus. So that's why I said earlier on, don't do one or the other, do both. There's always variables. Sometimes one thing will work for one advertiser and not for another. But I'll tell you this, I think you're crazy if you're not leveraging and testing these types of audiences in many different situations. Now, I can't tell you exactly what you should personally do without knowing your business because there are variables. But what I recommend you guys do, try this stacking segmented niche audience strategy because, again, for us, it has been really powerful. I'm going to give you guys a couple of examples of what this means and how to do it. But there are literally thousands and thousands of ways to set these up. So you have to get creative and just know that you can test this like crazy. And then when you find something really good, you can try and scale it to the moon. So the key to this audience is really combining and stacking different things. It could be interests, it could be behaviors, demographics, genders, and any number of things. And you want to stack those together. So I'll give you a couple of examples. For example, I've used this one before. We will target people who like Peloton, who like Whole Foods, who are also moms. We could even get more specific and either give an age range for the mom or an age range for the mom's kids, like moms of 1-year-olds, for example. Now, that's an audience for some advertisers that could do really well. Don't just randomly use that. I mean, you need to think about what's going to work based off of your actual ideal customers. But that's one that we personally used, and we have seen success with it in certain situations. So here's what you want to do. You don't want to put all those things in one box, Peloton, Whole Foods, and moms. Because if you do, they could just be one of those things and not all three, and it will serve the ad to them. So what you want to do to set it up correctly is to start off with one, let's say Peloton. And after you put Peloton in there, you're going to click the narrow button and you're going to narrow it down. And then that's when you would put Whole Foods Market, for example. And then you would click narrow one more time, and then you would put moms. And again, you could choose age ranges and stuff like that too. But that will ensure that they have to be a mom and like Whole Foods and like Peloton to be in that audience, not just one. Then guess what? You can really match your ad copy to that type of person. That's where this stuff gets really, really powerful. Example number 2 is a purchase behavior, and it's the one called engaged shoppers. This one doesn't mean they're engaged to be married. This one means that they clicked a shop now button in the last week or so. That's pretty powerful because if somebody's clicked shop now, that shows some intent that they're willing to look at stuff and click shop now. And whether you're an e-commerce business, that's a no-brainer. But even if you're not, even if you're a service business or a local business, somebody who's willing to click shop now is paying attention to what they're seeing, especially ads. And that's a great opportunity for you, whether you're selling something directly, going after a lead, or just wanting them to go to your website. That can be a really good option for an audience. And you can either do that by itself, but more often than not, I'm going to combine that with something else, another interest or demographic or something like that. So you could do like moms who have a purchase of behavior of being an engaged shopper, and you could combine those two, not one or the other, but they have to be both. That could be a really good audience for you potentially. Or obviously I just used moms, but you could use any number of things. There's thousands of different ways to use this. The other example I want to give you is you could pick an age range and then pick a gender, like females only or males only, or you could do both, and then add one additional thing to that. It could be a sport or a sport team. It could be music, a type of music, or even an artist like Taylor Swift or something. Or it could be like fashion related, whether it's a brand or a type of fashion, or it could be about a specific TV show or movie or actor or actress. But you would pick an age range, a gender, and then add one of these other things. And that could be a really good audience to target as well, because again, you can match your ad copy to that type of audience. We've done this before. I remember once using Seinfeld as a TV show, and in the ad, I actually used a Seinfeld reference, and it did really well. So that is the power of these segmented stacking ads. So why can this work? Because it narrows who's most likely to potentially convert, especially as long as you know who that is. You're able to narrow that through your targeting. And then you can make sure your ads are totally relevant because your ad copy can completely speak to them. And you can really use your ad copy to your advantage. And sometimes it can also give your ad higher engagement rates and better results because your ad content resonates with the people you're targeting a lot more than somebody that's just doing broad general stuff. So again, this is probably my favorite audience. It is so powerful. There's thousands of different options and stacks that you can use. You want to be creative, test, look at the data, and adapt. And you could find something that could work really well potentially. I know we have. Number 3 is time-based retargeting. Now, yes, you want to do retargeting of many different kinds. You want to do broad retargeting where you're retargeting everyone in your broad audience who has taken some action to get into that retargeting audience. But also time-based retargeting could be a separate specific ad and audience that could be based on when they last engaged. So for example, you could create a retargeting audience of people who have engaged with your ad just in the last 7 days, and then send them another ad. Another thing you could do is an abandoned cart or abandoned lead ad. So if somebody put something in the cart or went to a lead form but didn't fill it out in the last 7 days or 14 days, there you go. There's another audience you can target and get back in front of them with an ad. So why can this work really well? Because anybody who's recently either visited your site or engaged with your ad, or maybe put something in their cart but didn't finish their purchases, they are sometimes more likely to convert. And you can get back in front of them with a more direct call to action to either buy something or sign up for something or learn more. They also probably remember it since they visited your site or engaged with your ad recently, like in the last 7 days or 14 days. So this one is really good. I would do other types of retargeting ads too, but time-based retargeting can be really powerful. Number 4 is location targeting. Now this can work well, even if you are targeting many cities, states, or even countries, even internationally. So even if you're targeting, let's say, the whole US, you could still target a specific city or specific state in an ad. And then guess what? You're going to mention that city or that state in your ad. Why can this work so well? Because it's relevant and it helps you differentiate. It can help you stand out and seem more credible. Think of all the broad general ads that are out there. There's a ton of them. But if you're advertising, even a large company with a large budget, if you're advertising and you're advertising to Texas amongst other states, but you're talking about Texas in your ad, maybe you're even showing something visual in the image or video that's Texas. You could be doing this for some of your top states that you get sales from. This is really potentially a game changer for some of you guys. So this could work for everybody, for every kind of business. Even if you're in one state, you could narrow that down to a specific city, target a city within that state, and talk about that city in your ad. So the key to this is not just doing that targeting, but it's making your ad be relevant to that area so that they know that it's for them. And it will help you stand out in many situations. And then last but not least, number 5, I call it life events targeting. So this can be really good. It's not just for e-commerce. None of this stuff is just for e-commerce, by the way. It can potentially work for any kind of business. With life events targeting, You can target people that are engaged to be married, that just got a new job. Maybe they just moved. Maybe they are having an anniversary. Maybe they have a birthday coming up, or they're friends of someone with a birthday coming up. You could even target people that are new parents. So why can this be powerful? It's because many of these life events that I just described can trigger purchasing behaviors, and then you can be there and your ad can be relevant to that versus all these broad general ads. So that can make a big difference. So we use many different types of audiences, including Advantage Plus, but these 5 are 5 that I would definitely recommend you guys test and try right now. My friends, make sure you guys try these out. Let me know if you have questions. PhilGrahamDigital.com is the website, or you can DM me on Instagram at PhilGrahamDigital. Episode 382 is in the books. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I will talk to you on next week's episode. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about Phil, please visit philgrahamdigital.com/podcast.